The nation is also asking what happened at a base in Jordan that left at least 2 Americans dead. 19-year-old Army Private Isabella Gonzales and 25-year-old First Lieutenant James Feehan were killed in an Iranian attack. The Pentagon says a third U.S. service member is missing, adding the military has found unidentified remains at the site. In Iraq, another U.S. service member died during the controlled detonation of an Iranian drone. In all, 17 service members have been killed since the war began on February 28th. And today we learned nearly 100 were injured this month alone, though most have returned to duty. President Trump spoke about the deaths yesterday.
We feel very badly, but, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata begins our coverage from Amman, Jordan, as the U.S. begins the 10th night of attacks on Iran.
CBS News has learned that nearly 100 U.S. service members have been wounded in the past couple of weeks by Iranian attacks across this region. Dozens have been wounded here in Jordan after multiple attacks or attempted attacks on U.S. facilities, one that resulted in the death of 2 U.S. service members. The soldiers have been identified as 19-year-old Isabella Gonzales of Carrollton, Texas, and 25-year-old First Lieutenant James Feehan from Hawaii. They were both assigned to Army Air Missile Defense Command. We're told an investigation is underway while the fighting continues. We also learned from Central Command, U.S. Central Command, they have launched now the 10th consecutive night of airstrikes targeting Iran. Iran has continued to at least attempt to retaliate, trying to target places in Bahrain, Kuwait, and again, here in Jordan. We had air raid sirens going off for the first time in a long time here in Amman. They also tried to fire missiles toward Aqaba, a port city in the south. They were intercepted before doing any damage. President Trump will attend the dignified transfer ceremony for those 2 fallen U.S. soldiers tomorrow night at the Dover Air Force Base. Since the war began, 17 U.S. service members have been killed, with more than 430 wounded. Back to you.
Charlie D'Agata, thank you. For more, let's bring in CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. So, Weijia, what is the White House saying about these deaths?
Well, we know that President Trump tomorrow plans to go to the Dover Air Force Base to participate in the dignified transfer of these service members back home. And just a short time ago, the Pentagon did identify 2 of the service members killed. And we know that they are now 19-year-old Private Isabella Gonzales of Carrollton, Texas, and 25-year-old First Lieutenant James Feehan of Ewa Beach, Hawaii. The Pentagon also added that the soldiers were supporting Operation Inherent Resolve, and that is the name of the U.S. mission against the Islamic State group. Right now, Lindsay, the total of service members who have been killed since the war first unfolded is 17. There's still another service member missing. Of course, a tragic turn of events, and the White House press secretary did wish all the family members well, and know that that the administration is thinking about them. We will have more details tomorrow about the dignified transfer, as we hope to capture President Trump participating.
I want to switch gears, Weijia, and ask you about something else at the White House. They're announcing new tariffs on certain Canadian items, including hockey sticks, taking effect 1 month from today. What can you tell us?
That's right. The senior administration officials who briefed us said that this was in response to Canada's behavior after the U.S. imposed tariffs to try to level set the playing field. And now they are imposing an additional 50% tariff on several Canadian goods, such as hockey sticks, as you mentioned, and wine and cement. There are some items that will be excluded, though, and those have to do with critical minerals and fish and products that are already tariffed. So the big question, of course, now, Lindsay, is how Canada is going to respond. And there is one Premier, Rob Ford, who has been very vocal since the onset of this escalating trade tension that says Canada must respond. And of course, that would be tariffs on U.S. goods that are imported there. So we don't know yet, Lindsay, how this could escalate even more. But there are already calls for retaliation against these new tariffs that the president just announced today.
Weijia, Jiang, thank you.